Okay, it is Valentine's Day, February 14th, Saturday, 2026. For Buffalo, it's a pretty nice day. I think it's like 38. We see some sunshine, light winds. So, been getting ready to have a ceremonial campfire. And today's ceremonial campfire brought to you by a lot of sticks falling down from the windstorms this winter, as well as lots of wood scraps from my workshop and some accelerant, some paint thinner, mineral spirits from my son's staining varnishing project. That was the old used stuff, so I was waiting for a good day to put it on there instead of just like dumping it into the creek or something. So we got some accelerant. We're gonna start that up. Could have did it without the accelerant, but I wanted to use it up, so I put it on. Gonna let that get underway a little bit, and then we got all the workshop saw scraps to put on a little bit at a time. I know, it kind of feels like just a relaxing spring day, actually. It feels like, it's almost 5 o'clock, the sun's still up. Wasn't really in the mood to work on any other projects. Took a walk in the park. So I think I'm gonna do my campfire and then maybe go in the hot tub for a little bit because it's warm enough to do that. Yeah. All right, it is Saturday, February 14th, 2026, Valentine's Day. Kind of see we're in Buffalo and the sun's staying up a little bit longer, so 5 o'clock-ish. Still got some sunlight. I think it's like 37 or something. So it comes up at this point to have a brief discussion about LET4. LET4, Love and Ecstasy Training Cycle 4, is being held in November 2026, in the fall of this year, in Colorado. Being offered by, they brought someone from France in to teach it. It'll be the first time in the United States, maybe even in the Americas, that it's being offered. They've done it, I think in Europe they have 4, 5, and 6. So this will be the first time here. So my thought is LET4, T minus wherever it comes out to be, a whole bunch of numbers because it's still a ways away. But I'm thinking that I will start doing a series as I prepare for LET4. There's already some things that we've been working on that are pretty interesting. Like one of them has been working with sarongs. I'm not very comfortable putting a sarong on, wearing a sarong, like functioning with a sarong on, right? Because I'm used to a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I can just jump and roll around in that. You can't really do that when your garment is going to unwrap and fall off. So that is one of the things I am working on. I found a tantric partner to work on me with that. Very supportive. Music's a big one that came in. We've already worked on that a little bit. I have like 30 years of ripped CDs and music and stuff from Kundalini yoga, Tantra yoga, whatever. So I resurrected that from my Windows XP machine, put it on, or I think it was on Windows 7, put it on my Windows 11 machine, found out how to make a playlist, downloaded it to my phone, downloaded an app to play it on my phone, borrowed my wife's little speaker, Bluetooth speaker, so I've done that once already, and it's been very empowering to listen to the music I like in a Tantra yoga session instead of just relegating that to someone else's taste or non-taste or just non-conscious decision on what to play. So I'm gonna make a new playlist for this week. That's been very awesome. We're also going to soon be working on creating a sacred space. You know, unless you're actually in that workshop with those people, it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to ask people to do a sacred space ceremony to set up the space, because it's, you know, pretty different, right? Not everyone's into that ritual. So that's going to be the next thing I practice, hopefully this week. I think that another session upcoming soon. We do this in the workshop, and I've done this probably for 30 years, practicing these techniques, and that is not the personal space, but creating the whole space, honoring the directions and putting out intentions and evoking, you know, energies and things like that. So and some smudging, things like that, candle work. I'm gonna I don't know the right word, request, offer, suggest, or state, or whatever, saying that that's something that I would really like to work on. I've not been able to find another person who's willing to, you know, be present for that. I guess one other person we tried once was pretty interesting, yeah. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna try that. And there's some other things to talk about in the near future, but the thing that has become very apparent is it's I guess two parts. One is me giving a voice, feeling comfortable to ask for the things I want to do. I really want to practice it. I've wanted to practice these things for 30 years, and I can't ever find anyone, or at least that's my perception. I think it's, you know, been rejected and condemned enough that I don't openly feel I can ask other people to engage in these things with me. So there's a lot of healing there, having a safe place where I can ask to do the ceremonies that are meaningful to me. And I guess the second part of that is that person, the tantric partner that I'm working with, he's being so receptive and supportive that, you know, 7 billion people in the world, and I've walked the surface of this planet alone for 60 years. Like, I can never connect with anyone else to want to do these things. So it just to have that person for a few times to do the things that are very important and meaningful to me, and to not have them condemned and ridiculed, and to be supported, it's just such a deep longing that has been fulfilled. So I was not expecting a lot of that insights and things. I guess the thought had just come up to, you know, T-minus things. Let's do prep work. Let's work on the things that you've been uncomfortable with before you get to November, and get comfortable with them. And it's been huge. So anyways, time to throw some more wood on. All right, so even though it was under a pile of snow and it hasn't rained, a lot of that wood is soaking wet. So normally that would all be burnt down by now. But I gotta like dig it. A lot of it's buried in the snow, so I gotta dig it out, throw it on top, add some more wood. And take a look, the sun is starting to set. It's gonna be a pretty nice sunset today. All right, and this is a topic that kind of had first come up about LET4 and preparing for it. I think they're going to start switching books from the book called The Art of Sexual Ecstasy by Margot Anand. And then the next book that she put out was called The Art of Sexual Magic, MAJIK, I think it is. So I think what level 4 starts is in this other book, and that's more about manifesting using power symbols, putting out an intent, and then merging it with, all right, it just comes up to say sexual energy, but merging it with energy as it goes up through the chakras to give it a manifesting ability. So I think that's what this one's going to be about. Oh, with that, I've spent 20 or 30 years working on the Art of Sexual Ecstasy book, all the practices in there, and like chapter 12 is the the culminating chapter where you put everything together, and that chapter is about sitting in yabyum and doing inverted breathing with different types of breathing patterns and energy patterns. And that's what I felt like I really would like to finally accomplish before November, is to work on the inverted breathing in yabyum with a tantric partner, which I've done bits and pieces of that, but to put it all together and work on the inverted breathing with the energy cycling, I have not been able to do that. And a lot of that has to do with my fears, limiting beliefs about all those things that are involved in doing that. So I think there's a strong enough push now by the universe for this LET4 session to face them, put out the intent to find a tantric partner that I can practice parts of that with, and eventually all of that with, and then sit in the fear and and see what comes up to release. So that's also what's on the docket too, as we're moving in that direction. But these ancillary, if you will, collateral type of things are very profound. That yabyum with inverted breathing is kind of like a physical activity, right? But these other activities are physical, but they really call upon the longing and the loneliness of the last 60 years. And that's huge. Yeah, so that's what's kind of in store for LET4, T-, whatever it is. So we're getting started. I'm gonna soon put my down payment on, make my payments, my room selections, and that'll officially start the T- clock. Can just about see the sun making its final descent below the tree line. It was kind of like my intent when I first started working on that Love and Ecstasy training manual. They had said to perfect each skill, like there's 12 chapters, let's say there's 10 skills in each chapter, 120, perfect the skill before you move on to the next. Well, being young and restless, there was no way in hell I was going to spend a year working on each one of those, right? So my decision was that I would try each in whatever form or fashion I could, all the way to the end of the book, by myself, because that's who I had to work with. So I modified things however I need to. Some things you can't do because you need a partner, but you can look in a mirror for some things, right? So, and then I decided I'd go start the beginning and work through some things at a PG level with a partner when I could find one. And so I've been working through there, and I get towards the end of the book, and some of the things you just need a partner for. So I think I went as far as I could, and then I decided to go back another time. I don't think I went all the way back to the beginning, but I think a lot of that had to do when I was doing these LET 1, 2, and 3 workshops is kind of like Tantra R, right? Some sexual energy involved. So I think, yeah, I guess pretty much we started way back at the beginning of the book, went through all those exercises, and we get to the end and we're close. You know, we can sit and yab yum. We can't do inverted breathing unless you're fluid bonded, whatever, right? In a workshop setting. So like, so I haven't been able to get to completion at our level. So I guess that's the thought, is that I would like to finish chapter 12 with a partner and doing these things at the level that that was written for, you know, to experience that. And then it feels like I will be complete somehow, and I don't know what that means, but it feels like once I can do, that's like this thing, it's not a roadblock, but it's the doorway, let's say. Once I can finish being comfortable with those exercises, at least experiencing them, and releasing whatever fear and limiting beliefs go with that, then I think the next part opens up, and I think it's going to be this LET4 and the second boat. So that's kind of like my goals before November, to really be able to find someone to do inverted breathing with and yab yum. And even if we don't get through all the advanced breathing cycles and stuff, just to do it enough times that I'm comfortable and it releases whatever this unmet urge, longing is. All right. Gotta throw a little bit more wood on the fire. I think it's gonna get close to dinner time here.